Welcome to O.Co Coliseum in Oakland, California. It's postseason baseball on TBS. They are all fired up and ready in Oakland for Game 3 of the American League Division Series between the Detroit Tigers and the Oakland A's. I got everybody. Don Orsillo along with Buck Martinez. Jamie Maggio will be along in a little bit. Well, the Oakland A's return home and certainly down 2-0 in this series, but they play great baseball at home. In fact, they won their last 6 regular season games of the year. And Brett Anderson is on the mound for the first time since September the 19th. And I guess, Buck, the question is, how healthy is Brett Anderson?
Well, that is the big question. We're going to find out real soon. Brett Anderson came back off the DL and won his first 4 starts. This was his last start of the regular season. He injured himself in Detroit against the Tigers, and watch this pitch to Delman Young. He felt something on his right side, stayed in the game, but the next pitch he lost his balance and would come out of the ball game. They believe he's healthy. Bob Melvin knows he needs 5 innings from his most experienced starter tonight if they hope to stay alive in this series.
We know about the Tigers stars and Miguel Cabrera and Prince Fielder, but it's some of the other guys for the Tigers that are chipping in the first 2 games.
Well, it sure is, and oftentimes in the postseason you really concentrate on the superstars, but in this series it has been the role players that have made contributions. They've taken advantage of some errors by Oakland. The only run that scored on a base hit was the Alex Avila home run. 8 runs scored, only 1 coming on a base hit, but all the youngsters are contributing, including Abisail Garcia making a strong throw. This team believes they can beat anybody, and Don Kelly walked them off in Game 2.
Game 3 from Oakland is coming up next. Well, the Oakland A's fans here are saluting the Oakland A's as they take the field on what is a beautiful night tonight in Oakland as we get this Game 3 underway. Very comfortable conditions, 66 degrees to start the game, mostly clear above the stadium, and light breeze from the west at 15 miles per hour. Well, the A's are certainly glad to be home where they've been so resilient so far in 2012. With more, here's Jamie Maggio.
All right, thank you, Don. I was in the A's clubhouse yesterday talking with the players, and the mentality echoed the mantra set forth by A's manager Bob Melvin, and that was, let's play for the day, let's not worry about tomorrow. Okay, the A's are down 2 games in this series, but let's not forget they have battled through adversity all season long. Remember, they lost Bartolo Colon for the season, then they lost Brandon McCarthy, the pitcher, after the incident on the mound. Terrible accident there. So really, resiliency has been the theme of this ball club all season long. They have no plans of going down quietly in this series.
All right, Jamie. Well, the A's have taken the field tonight, so let's check out the Detroit Tigers starting 9. Austin Jackson leads it off. He's in center field. Omar Infante at second base. Here come the big 3-4, Miguel Cabrera and Prince Fielder, with Delman Young as the DH. Johnny Peralta at shortstop at 6th, with Andy Dirks in left field batting 7th. Aviciel Garcia in right field bats 8th. And Gerald Laird doing the catching. He bats 9th for the Tigers. On the mound tonight for the Oakland A's, first time since September the 19th. We've seen Brett Anderson, and here he is, the 24-year-old, ready to go.
Brett Anderson had Tommy John surgery last July, and he bounced back quickly. He returned to the A's and made 4 outstanding starts in his comeback. He won 4 straight games. He beat Minnesota, Cleveland, Boston, and Seattle. And then he had the problem in Detroit. The oblique muscle knocked him out of that ball game. This was his first start since. He has not pitched in 20 days. The A's aren't really sure what they're going to get from Anderson tonight. When he is on, he's as tough as anybody. He's got a put-away slider that he gets both lefties and righties with, and he throws that slider to the right-handed hitter's back foot. And he's tough with runners in scoring position. The league hit just 148 against Brett Anderson when he's got runners in scoring position, and he's going to have to come up big tonight against Detroit.
Austin Jackson standing in here for the Tigers to get it started. He is 2 for 9 so far in the series. First pitch of this one is sent down the right field line, foul. There is a ton of foul ground here at O.Co Coliseum, and it is very pitcher friendly.
What sure is, all those pop-ups that go into foul territory here, oftentimes they're caught.
Jackson will take a high strike. Well, no doubt this first inning very important for Brett Anderson, and what a surprise for the A's. Heading into the postseason, they weren't entirely sure they would get Brett Anderson back, but here he is, and he gets a start in game 3, and an elimination game at that, and a good start for him as he strikes out Austin Jackson.
There's that slider, and that's a good sign for Brett Anderson. He's got as good a slider as there is in baseball. When he gets this down to the back foot of the right-handed hitters, they swing over the top of it. And he got ahead, what really makes this slider more effective. And if he's got that pitch tonight, the Tigers are in for a long night.
So one down here in the first inning. Austin Jackson retired. Here's Omar Infante. Infante 3 for 8 so far in the series. Second stint with the Detroit Tigers, and he returns along with their starter tonight, Anibal Sanchez, in a deal that took place in July. And Infante this time coming back as an everyday player, was really kind of a role player the first time around for Jim Leyland. And Infante will chop it foul outside of third.
Early on, Anderson has shown that he's got confidence in his breaking ball. He throws a curveball and a slider, and both of them have been good already early in this ball game, and that's got to give him a big boost of confidence to start this game.
1-2 is a swing and a miss. He strikes out the first 2 that he faces tonight.
Well, he might not need any defense if he strikes out everybody, but behind Brett Anderson in the outfield, good speed in the outfield, Cespedes Crisp and Josh Reddick. Reddick with a terrific arm in right. Up the middle, it's Stephen Drew and Cook Pennington. They've teamed up to make a great double play combination. Donaldson and Moss at the corners, and the rookie Derek Norris, just 23 years old, behind the plate, handling Brett Anderson.
So 2 down here in the first inning. Both Jackson and Infante both by way of the K's. Miguel Cabrera ground one sharply to second, to right of Pennington, and Brett Anderson with a 1-2-3 first inning on 8 pitches. The A's are coming up from Oakland in game 3. the Oakland A's come to bat here in the bottom of the first inning. Let's check out the Athletics. Starting 9, it is Coco Crisp in center field getting it started. Hit a home run in game 1. Stephen Drew bats second and short. Yoenis Cespedes in left field bats third. Brandon Moss at first base in the cleanup spot, 1 for 7 so far in the series. Josh Reddick in right. Josh Donaldson is at third base. Seth Smith is the DH out of the 7th spot, with the youngster Derek Norris doing the catching. He bats 8th, and Cliff Pennington at second base bats 9th. Anibal Sanchez on the mound for the Tigers. He joined them on July 23rd as a deal coming along with Omar Infante. Ready to go here tonight in game 3.
He has been great over his last 8 starts. Here, see his record for the year, 9-13, but don't get fooled by that record. He's pitched very well for the Tigers over those last 8 starts. The only bad start he had was against this A's ball club on September 20th.
It was the first time that he has pitched in the majors with an American League team, spending his first 6+ seasons in the bigs with the Marlins. This is popped up foul, backing out of play. Laird gives it a look, but back into the seats.
Take a look at the scouting report. Anibal Sanchez has to pitch on the edges, and he can do it with multiple pitches. He has a boatload of pitches. He can work to both sides of the plate. And he's got mound presence. He understands that he's going to dictate the tempo of this game.
Through the right side into right field, a base hit. Coco Crisp is on to begin the A's first inning.
Well, the A's have a lot of confidence in this ballpark. They won 50 games here at home, and they know they've got the support of their fans. Coco Crisp is the igniter. Gets that hanging slider out over the plate and hammers it into right. This is important for the Athletics. They have to get out on top and really allow Brett Anderson an opportunity to work with a lead.
Now Coco with a good-sized lead at first base. Stephen Drew standing in.
Sanchez is vulnerable to the stolen base, and you can see he held the ball, just making sure that he would freeze Crisp at first.
Drew takes one wide for ball 1. Stephen Drew spending his first 6 seasons with the Diamondbacks. Arizona's #1 pick, 15th overall in 2004. Came to the A's from Arizona on August the 20th. Check on Crisp, who's back to the bag at first.
Coco is 39 for 43 in steals this season. He's got a pretty good feel for how to get a jump against Sanchez.
In the air down the left field line, on the run goes Andy Dirks, but that'll end up near the bullpen and into the seats. First row. Nice catch.
Very enthusiastic crowd here at this ballpark, and they really support their team. And this team's got a lot of character, and I think the crowd really bought into it. And this ball club, as we mentioned, winning 50 games in this ballpark, 50-31 for the season.
There's not another ballpark that I've been to where they tailgate as early as they do here in Oakland. They're out there at noon for a 6 o'clock game. 1-1 pitch, he'll miss, and it's 2-1.
Stephen Drew came over to the Athletics to shore up the defense first and foremost, but also now he's sitting in the 2 spot in the order. Presence that Bob Melvin is very familiar with. Melvin was the manager of the Diamondbacks. Stephen Drew played for the Diamondbacks, and Drew's infield coach was Chip Hale, who was the third base coach here with the Athletics. So when he was traded, it was a pretty comfortable setting. Chip Hale and Bob Melvin know him very well, and they like the fact that he's a stabilizer on the infield.
Played only 86 games last year after suffering a season-ending injury, broken ankle. Was badly broken sliding into home plate in July of last year. Still not 100% even in the postseason this year. Full count with Crisp at first base. Nobody out here for the A's. There goes Coco. The pitch is going to miss. It's ball 4. First and second for the A's.
Sanchez had walked just 5 hitters in his last 5 starts. 5 batters he's walked, and Chris got a great jump. You could see he was stealing all the way. It was ball 4, so the A's are threatening early.
2 on, nobody out. Yoenis Cespedes. Cespedes 3 for 8 so far in the series. See his regular season numbers. First year in the majors. Ball 1.
Again, we made the point of Sanchez having to work to the edges, and he's not getting those borderline calls early. That's going to be a problem for the Tigers. And you can see Sanchez talking to Infante saying, you know, that looked like a strike. Jeff Johns, the pitching coach, very concerned early on. If the A's can force Sanchez over the heart of the plate, that's when they can do some damage. And remember, this Athletics team hit more home runs than anybody in the majors in the second half of the season. So far in the series, not very productive. But this is their 3rd game, and they've got to be a little more relaxed and confident now.
Cespedes to foul it back. The 11th Cuban-born player in Oakland history signed a 4-year, $36 million contract with the A's on March 3rd. And Bob Melvin said that the first time he saw him in spring training, he knew what kind of player he was going to be. And a big part of this A's team, certainly offensively, right in the middle of it all year long. 1-1 is up the middle and into center field. Coco Crisp being waved around, and the A's strike first on top 1-0. Still nobody out in the first inning.
Coco Crisp got the leadoff single, comes around to score, and Oakland has that early lead. Cespedes hit a good breaking ball. It was down out over the plate, and he stayed on it. Over the course of the season, we have seen Cespedes grow into a run producer. He finished up 8th in the American League, batting with runners in scoring position. He puts Oakland out on top.
And 345 with runners in scoring position during the regular season, and he's getting it done here now in the postseason. As he drives in Coco Crisp, and the A's take a 1-0 lead. Games 1 and 2, the A's were combined 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position, but they make good right out of the gate.
Jeff Jones out with a quick message to Sanchez, and they've got a dangerous hitter at the plate in Brandon Moss.
2 on, nobody out, run in for the Athletics. Brandon Moss 1 for 7 in the series, 21 home runs during the regular season. Moss 3rd on the A's in home runs despite playing in only 84 games during the regular season. Moss didn't make his debut until June the 6th. '51 games at AAA Sacramento. And he fouls it to the screen. 93-mile-an-hour fastball from Anibal Sanchez.
Don, you mentioned this ball club playing so well at home. They won their final 6 home games, including sweeping the Rangers to wrap up the West. Got a lot of confidence here. Bob Melvin knows that the power they have now is totally different than what they had early in the season, and they can turn a game around in a heartbeat.
Swing and a miss. Another fastball at 93 from Sanchez. Sanchez not allow more than 3 earned runs in each of his last 4 road starts with the Tigers. He's given up a run here in the first. That is strike 3. Moss takes it, and that's out number 1 of the inning.
Now, this is what Sanchez can do when he gets zeroed in. That's that 2-seam fastball that starts off the plate and catches the inside corner. Let's look at the pitch sequence to Brandon Moss. They miss away with that two-seam fastball and then get the foul back on a four-seamer upstairs. Another four-seamer, and he swings right through it. And then that swing back two-seamer that starts off the plate inside and moves and catches the inside corner.
One down for Josh Reddick. Reddick will take it down and in. 1 for 7 so far in the series for Reddick. He started in right field and terrific numbers in his first year with a chance to play on an everyday basis. 32 home runs, 85 runs batted in for the A's. On the ground towards second, Infante. The second for one, on to first. That's 2, and that's big for the Tigers. They get out of the inning with minimal damage, but the Oakland A's jump on top 1-0.
And batting in the fourth position, first baseman, number 28, Prince Fielder.
And we welcome those of you watching on TBS. We're back on TBS as the Oakland A's have a 1-0 advantage over the Tigers, thanks to an RBI single by Yoenis Cespedes. And the A's take the 1-0 lead. So we head to inning number 2. Prince Fielder, Delman Young, and Johnny Peralta to bat in the inning. And as Fielder takes strike 1. 1-2-3 first for Brett Anderson on 8 pitches. So Prince Fielder just 1 for 8 so far in the postseason.
Anderson struck out the first 2 batters that he faced here tonight, and Prince Fielder's only faced him once, still for 1.
Fielder squibs it foul. Fielder's signing a 9-year deal with the Tigers back in January, end of January. 27th. Incredibly durable, missing only 1 game over the last 4 years. Jacks one out towards deep right center field. Coco Crisp going back onto the track. He leaps and Crisp in right center. He's got it. What a catch by Coco Crisp. Timed the leap perfectly and makes the grab.
Nothing like playing at home. Coco Chris dropped the ball in Comerica Park that led to 2 runs, and right here he saves one. Perfect timing, times his leap perfectly. That ball was out of the yard. He goes up, tremendous concentration by Chris, and he knows this ballpark very well, and he brings one back into the yard.
Oh, what a play by Coco Crisp. Nobody felt worse about that play in center field than Coco Crisp in Detroit. And he robs Prince Fielder and the Tigers of a run right here. Delvin Young will ground this into left center field. First base runner of the night for the Tigers.
Prince Fielder hits this ball, a breaking ball, and stays on it. One-hands it, and Chris got a tremendous read off the bat and timed his leap perfectly. And you can see how pumped up he is. As you mentioned, Don, he was down in the dumps after dropping that ball off the bat of Miguel Cabrera in Detroit. It cost the A's 2 runs, and here he saves one.
1 out, 1 on for Johnny Peralta. Peralta 2 for 7 so far in the series. .239 average during the regular season, his lowest since his rookie year of 2003, and that year he hit .227. That was with the Indians.
Anderson's working quickly, but to me he seems a little rushed this inning. He's not really fluid, and he's up, and he can't afford to pitch up to this powerful Tiger team.
.2-0 chop foul, and it's 2-1.
Johnny Peralta has hit only .212 on the road this year, and the Tigers have not been a good road team. 38-43 during the regular season, and that's a concern. You come into this ballpark when Oakland has played so well.
Peralta opposite field and in for a base hit in front of Reddick as Young will take second base on the single, and it's 2 on with 1 out. Play TBS Social Dugout presented by Samsung Galaxy S3. Predict the plays before they happen. Score points, compete against your friends, and earn rewards. Download the app by visiting tbs.com/social dugout. 1 out, first and second here for the Tigers. And Andy Dirks coming up as Detroit tries to answer here in the second inning after the A's got a run in the bottom of the first. Dirks 2 for 6 in the postseason so far. On the ground right side, ranging is Pennington, who go to second for one. They go to first, but it's tardy. No chance as Pennington had to range a long way towards first base to get the middleman in Peralta. And it is first and third now, 2 down.
Boy, the Athletics defense has really changed since Pennington has moved to second. He's got a shortstop arm, and that allows him to get Peralta at second. Dirks runs too well. He's only grounded into 4 double plays all season long, but with Drew at short and Pennington at second, they've got tremendous range and good hands, and the fact that you've got basically 2 shortstops playing up the middle.
So first and third, 2 down. And here's Garcia, 0 for 3 so far in the series. Swinging a foul for Garcia.
Garcia's done a good job for the Tigers coming up in the regular season. Just 47 at bats. He hit .319. But Jim Leland told us earlier he probably shouldn't be here. But they need his bat. He's a very good athlete. We saw that great defensive play made in game 2. And Anderson's liable to really carve him up with that combination of curveball and slider.
Garcia recalled from the Tigers August the 31st. His major league debut. Anderson ahead 0-2. 2 down in the inning. Garcia gets a piece to stay alive.
Obviously, Garcia is from same hometown as Miguel Cabrera, and you can see a lot of the same mannerisms that you see in Cabrera. And why not?
Cabrera's helped him out a great deal since he arrived. 0-2 pitch will bounce in. Good block by Derek Norris.
Anytime you have a pitch that leans heavily on a slider and a curveball, you got to be able to block the pitch so the pitcher will throw it with total confidence. You'll be able to block it. Norris does a good job. Runner at third base, just 90 feet away, and you got to make sure you keep it close to home when it's in the dirt.
Chop back towards the mound. Anderson's got it. His toss is in plenty of time, and the A's get out of the jam. Tigers threaten but do not score. The Athletics have a 1-0 lead after an inning and a half from the Coliseum in Oakland. One nothing. The Athletics on top of the Tigers as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Remind you to watch bonus camera angles for the division series and ALCS games with postseason.tv. Get started now at MLB.com. Anibal Sanchez into the second inning. Surrendered a run in the first. And that one by Josh Donaldson. Leads it off here for the A's. Donaldson, Smith, and Norris anticipated in the inning. It is 6, 7, and 8 for the Athletics.
See, Sanchez continues to work the corners, up and in, first pitch, down and away, second pitch. He's going to move the ball all over in the strike zone. He just needs to get the occasional strike call on those borderline pitches.
On the ground and through into right field. The base hit for Donaldson to start the second inning.
Next batter is Seth Smith, who's hit well against Sanchez for his career. This was earlier in the season, the last start that Sanchez made against Oakland. Smith had a first pitch changeup, a high-hanging changeup. The interesting thing about that pitch was, in his previous at-bat, when Smith grounded out, he also threw him a changeup. So he saw two changeups in a row, and the second one he hit out of the ballpark.
Terrific numbers to Smith against Sanchez as he drives one down the left field line that'll hook foul into the seats.
Jim Leyland told us earlier this afternoon that they were really focused on the at-bat Smith had against Sanchez, trying to figure out how to get him out. He said, this is the one guy I've got real concerns with tonight in this lineup against my starter.
He's elevated as he misses. And Seth Smith did strike out a career high 98 times during the regular season. Hit a career low 240. And acquired by the A's in the offseason from Colorado for pitchers Josh Altman and Guillermo Moscoso. In the air to left, Andy Dirks going back. Dirks to the track, and he'll reach back to make the catch. Retagging second and getting back to first is Donaldson. He will get there on a nice play by Dirks, who had to reach around to make that grab.
It's a breaking ball away, and Smith really stayed on, and Dirks makes a nice running catch, and it turns and fires back to Peralta, the cutoff man. Great concentration. This ball will slice back over his shoulder, and you see how he stays with it to make the catch. Sanchez is reminding him he sees Donaldson, who had already gone around second. Donaldson had to re-tag second and beat it back to first.
Runner at first, one down for Derek Norris, the catcher for the A's. The guy who joined the team as the year went along. Norris made his A's debut on the 21st of June. Struggled in September. He had just 170 in the month of September in 16 games. Pitch in there for strike one.
It's really not that unusual to have a rookie like Norris struggle late in the season. You're playing longer than you have normally. The league's starting to get more information on you, and they will exploit your weaknesses.
And prior to the season, he never played above Double-A. And here he is in the majors in the postseason for the A's. Now he'll run inside.
Norris has big time power. He can hit a hanging breaking ball 9 miles. He'll also cheat to get to the inside fastball, and that's what Sanchez will do time and again, try to run that fastball down and in.
So you saw the outfield play straight away on Norris. Anibal Sanchez 4-6 since the trade that brought him to Detroit with 3.74 earned run average. In the dirt gathered by Laird. He started against the A's once this season. He took the loss on September the 20th. Allowed 6 hits, 6 runs in 5 2/3 innings. Only time in his career that he had faced the Oakland A's. Now he faces him in the ALDS. Go to first, and back is Donaldson. Norris with a swing and a foul tip into the catcher's mitt. 2-2.
That's the off-speed pitch, changeup that Norris was well out in front of, and that's the thing that makes Sanchez so effective. He will throw any pitch at any count. He's got confidence to throw that changeup, and you can see how far out in front Norris was. But he will work to both sides of the plate with all of his pitches.
On the ground towards third softly. Cabrera will go to second for one. That's all they'll get. And in hard went Donaldson, lifting the legs up of Omar Infante. Infante wasn't going to throw to first anyway, but he takes him out just to be sure.
Yeah, Infante's had some trouble earlier this year on turning double plays, and the A's are aware of it. They're going to put pressure on him around the bag at second just to make sure he doesn't get comfortable turning double plays. Donaldson knocks him off his feet, and there was really no chance for two there, but the A's are very aware that they're going to put pressure on Infante all throughout this series. He's played well lately. He's made 10 errors since joining the Tigers. but only one since September 17th.
2 down here in the second inning. Derek Norris at first base. Number 9 man Cliff Pennington batting. And Pennington out of the number 9 spot, 3 for 5 so far in the series. Saw his average slip nearly 50 points during the season. Runner goes, pitch a ball, the throw is going to be in time. The gun down, Derek Norris. Gerald Laird gets him at second base to end the inning. Play 2. The A's have a 1-0 lead at home.
Derek Norris was 5 for 6 in steals during the regular season, but Gerald Laird made a strong throw to Johnny Peralta to end the inning. It was close, but you can see the tag hit the leg of Norris before his foot hit the bag.
Well, here is Gerald Laird to lead it off in the third inning. Foul back to the screen for strike 1. Laird 0 for 2 in the series. Spending last year as a member of the world champion Cardinals. Appeared in only 4 games in the playoffs for St. Louis, playing behind Yadier Molina. Second stint with the Tigers as he takes pitch inside. Check swing at strike 2. Well, Jamie, he's got more than just baseball on his list of hobbies.
That's right, Don. I was speaking to him about a potential career after baseball. He said he'd like to be a general manager, and this is based on his ability to dominate the trading block for his fantasy football team. He told me he could sell sand to the beach. How about that? The league is comprised of Tigers players. Laird said it's a way for the guys to just get their minds off of things during the season, stay connected after the season is through. Currently, Laird likes to brag that he is in first place. He claims he is also the best trash talker in the league. Guys.
All right, Jamie, thank you very much. Pitch up top, and it's a full count now. They're really into the fantasy football. A lot of smack being talked
he
around
was
the clubhouse
wired
today.
this afternoon when he was talking about his team and how good it was.
Here's a check swing that will get away. Did he go around? Yes, he did. They're going to throw him out, and they do. Eric Cooper, first base umpire, said he offered, but Morris had to go find that ball and then throw him out at first, which he does. Third strikeout for Brett Anderson.
Laird can run. He tries to check his swing on the curveball and goes all the way around, and he tosses the bat and then looks up and sees the first base umpire calling strike 3. The ball is up against the wall. Norris makes a good play, and Brandon Moss with a nice stretch and foul ground for the first out of the inning.
Laird retired, one down, and brings up Austin Jackson. Jackson, a strikeout victim in the first inning as he takes ball 1. Led the American League in triples for the second straight season. His third straight year with at least 10. Set career highs in home runs with 16, RBIs with 66, and at a 300 average atop the Tigers order.
First two guys in this batting order, very important for Brett Anderson, trying to keep them off base, because every time you put them on base, you get closer and closer to Miguel Cabrera and Prince Fielder. Make them hit their way on, and that's not the case with Jackson.
4-pitch walk to Austin Jackson. First walk given up by Anderson. Well, it's time now for the big hit, brought to you by Avocados from Mexico, and a big game 2 for Omar Infante.
Well, it sure is. It's a 2-out base hit, and what that does is that brings the big guy, Miguel Cabrera, to the plate. He did it twice in the series. He set the table for Cabrera, and ideally the A's want to face Miguel Cabrera leading off an inning with nobody on, but Infante came up with 2 big hits in game 2.
Omar Infante, a strikeout victim tonight in the first inning, 0 for 1. 3 strikeouts for Brett Anderson through 2 1/3 now. Omar Infante 3 for 9 in the series.
Well, if Jackson's thinking about running, Brett Anderson has a terrific move. He has 14 career pickoffs, and he's very difficult to read at first base. Oh, that's a good slide step right there. Real close to being a balk. He barely changed directions as he came set, but he mixes it up very well and really challenges base runners. You can see he barely lifted that front foot up and just took a slide step toward home.
Check on first, and back to the bag is Jackson. Now Omar Infante, who spent his first 6 seasons of his major league career with the Tigers. 02 through 07, appeared in 494 games with the Tigers at first go around. With a career high 16 homers, 55 RBIs with Detroit in 04. And a career high 321 average with Atlanta in 2010. And back to the Tigers on July 23rd from the Marlins, along with Anibal Sanchez. 3-1. Miguel Cabrera waiting on deck here for the Tigers. Outfield deep and straight away on Omar Infante. On the ground to third base. Donaldson in the backhand. A second for 1 to first for 2. Around the horn they go. 2.5 done in game 3 from Oakland. The A's have a 1-0 lead. For the bottom of the third, Tigers and Athletics fans follow their teams with the Team Stream app. Download Team Stream, choose your teams, and you're set. Get Team Stream from Bleacher Report today. Well, they venture into the last half of the third inning in Oakland at the Coliseum. And it's Cliff Pennington who leads it off for the Athletics. And he's the recipient of strike one from Anibal Sanchez, who was batting as Derek Norris got gunned down trying to steal second base in the second inning. It's already on the fastball, foul tip, and he's down 0-2.
Sanchez appears to be settling in a little bit, and once again we have to emphasize that he's going to make pitches on the edges of the plate all night. They're upstairs. It's fouled off.
And a full arsenal with that: a fastball, slider, changeup, cutter, curveball. He's got all of it.
Very interesting. He's 28 years old and a free agent, and this is a great platform to show your wares to the rest of the baseball world.
0-2. Did he go? They'll check. Yes, he did. So Scott Berry, third base umpire. Second strikeout for Anibal Sanchez.
Sanchez, like Anderson, works very quickly and keeps the pressure on the hitters. And Penning, with 2 strikes, couldn't check the swing on that high fastball.
One out of the third inning, top of the order, and Coco Crisp has already made his presence felt. Not only defensively robbing the Tigers of a home run with a great catch to rob Prince Fielder of a home run in right center, but singled and scored the game's only run back in the first. Strike one. Coco Crisp, who battled pink eye in September, missed 9 straight games. And after missing the 9 games, returned in a big way, hit 400 in the final 6 games of the year. Part of the 6 games that the Oakland A's won to finish the year. Ball came right here at O.Co Coliseum. 0-2, softly grounded towards third. Cabrera's got to hurry. His throw will be in time. 2 down in the inning. We had a chance to catch up with Jim Leland a little bit earlier. Okay, Jim, let's start with your starting pitcher tonight, Anibal Sanchez. Your thoughts so far in the early going?
A little hyped up early, I think. Hopefully he's settling in now. So, but he was a little hyped up early.
Your 1 and 2 guys are very important, and Infante's come up with some big hits. How has he stabilized this lineup top of the order for you, Jim?
Well, he's a very usable second hitter. He can bunt for a hit, he can sacrifice, he can hit and run. You know, he can hit a ball out of the ballpark. So he's a very usable second guy.
Well, he's been extremely usable there for the Tigers as a first pitch strike in there to Stephen Drew.
Yeah, Infante stabilized the second base position defensively the same way Stephen Drew stabilized shortstop for the A's.
Well, Stephen Drew walked in the first inning. He'll take a hack here and sends it foul to the second deck. Stephen Drew left the Arizona Diamondbacks as a franchise all-time leader in triples with 52. Then recorded a triple with the A's after the trade. He's second in the National League in triples in 08, 2009, and 2010. To left field, Andy Dirks coming in, and he'll make the catch. It's a 1-2-3 third inning for Anibal Sanchez. We're through 3. A's on top, 1-0. We welcome you back to Game 3 of the American League Division Series between the Tigers and A's from O.Co Coliseum in Oakland, California. Don Orsillo, Buck Martinez, and Jamie Maggio. We're on to the 4th inning with the Oakland A's on top 1-0. It is 10 o'clock in the East, 7 o'clock here in the West, and standing in is Miguel Cabrera. And he takes a look at ball one, his second look at Brett Anderson tonight. He was 0 for 1. He bounced out to second base in the 1st inning.
Everybody knows Cabrera won the Triple Crown. He had 44 home runs, but the surprising fact is that he only hit 4 home runs against lefty pitching this year. That's incredible. But the reason he has trouble with left-handers as far as hitting home runs is that pitch coming down and into him. He is so strong on the outer 3/4 of the plate, he can drive the ball anywhere. But there you see the difference in his numbers, lefty versus righties, and it's amazing. Just 4 home runs out of his 44 hit on the season came against left-handed pitching.
3-1 is one hopper, sharply hit to Drew, spins and fires. Plenty of time to get Cabrera. And we had the chance to catch up with the Oakland A's manager Bob Melvin moments ago. Bob, you guys played so well here down the stretch at home. The fans have been great here tonight. You have to be very happy to be back at home.
Absolutely. Boy, the last 6 games, actually, it was pretty electric here, and you see that again tonight. So off to a good start in the 1st inning. Got a run, got the crowd into it. Hopefully that stays intact.
Bob, from your perspective, give us your take on Brett Anderson.
Looks good to me. I mean, you mixing his pitches up and down with his fastball, locates his breaking ball really well. Looks like he has good touch with it at this point.
And Brett Anderson has been very good so far. He's not allowed to run. He's got 1 out here in the 4th inning. The 1-0 to Fielder. A healthy hack for strike 1. Doesn't get cheated on those swings, does he?
No, he doesn't. That's what he's all about. He almost hit a home run his first time up. He did hit a home run, but Coco Crisp caught it and brought it back in the ballpark in center field.
He's 1 for 9 in the series.
But Anderson, you can see how quickly he's working. He feels very good about what he's featuring tonight. Body language is very positive.
Chop back up the middle. Drew will range. Off balance throw and plenty of time to get Fielder. Nice rangy play turned in by Stephen Drew.
Stephen Drew, the further he gets away from that ankle injury, the more range he gets. He's starting to grow confidence that he's got his range back. He is on the first base side of second when he catches this ball, throws off balance right on the money to Moss. That's the last thing that's going to come back when you're coming back from a severe ankle injury, is the confidence that you can make that first quick step and recapture the range you had prior to it.
2 down in the inning for Delman Young, who singled the center field in the 2nd. 1 of 2 hits so far for the Tigers on the night. Flares one foul off to the right. 92 in the fastball from Anderson.
Coming into this game, Delman Young had hit just .216 in his previous 14 games. He hasn't homered since the 22nd of September and has driven in just 4 runs.
On the ground to third base. Donaldson was guarding the line. His throw is good, and the inning is over. We're through 3.5 in Game 3 of the ALDS. It's 1-0 A's. Peak Performance brought to you by Nissan, makers of the all-new Altima, is Yoenis Cespedes, 23 home runs in 2012. Mark McGwire at 49 and 87. The Oakland A's and Jose Canseco at 86 with 33. Pretty good list and a pretty good first year for Cespedes.
The A's have always done great developing young players. They signed Cespedes as a free agent, and he played on the Cuban national team a year ago, and he's a pretty special player.
Well, McGwire, Canseco, and Crosby all won Rookie of the Year honors, but Cespedes probably second to Mike Trout this year.
Yeah, I think we can take the probably away from that. Yeah. Mike Trout's going to be the Rookie of the Year, but Cespedes certainly has had a phenomenal season.
Outside from Anibal Sanchez. Cespedes singled to center field to drive in the Oakland run in the first inning. Lone run of the game. 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
As is often the case with veteran starting pitchers like Sanchez, if you don't get them early before they really settle in, you're not going to get to them. Coco Chris had the leadoff single. Cespedes drove him in the first. But now it looks like Cespedes is really starting to get a feel for his pitches and work the outer edges of the plate.
First pitch strikes to the last 8 batters in a row. As he misses up top, he had 0 first pitch strikes to the first 5 batters of the game, but now 8 since and is settling in. Tire the side in order in the third, and there's a 2-2 to Cespedes. And it'll strike him out as Cespedes becomes a third strikeout victim for Sanchez. 1 down.
Boy, he did a good job on throwing him the kitchen sink in this at bat. And this is a slow curveball that he starts in the zone and breaks it down out of the zone, down and away, and Cespedes with a big swing can't connect. That's the third strikeout for Sanchez, and he's starting to get locked in.
1 down in the 4th inning. Brandon Moss takes a hack at the first pitch and sends it foul. Moss struck out looking in the first inning, 1 of 3 Ks down for Sanchez.
Slider inside off the plate. Sanchez struck out Moss with that 2-seam fastball that he starts off the plate inside and breaks it back over the inside corner.
Moss lifts it in the air out to the left field. Andy Dirks has got it under control and takes care of out number 2. 6 in a row retired by Sanchez. 2 down here in the 4th inning.
Sanchez was picked up in that July trade deadline period from the Miami Marlins along with Infante. And they gave up a great pitching prospect in Jacob Turner. Also a catching prospect, Rob Rampant. But it's not unlike the trade they made back in '87 when they traded for Doyle Alexander, who went 9-0 down the stretch. In that deal, the Tigers gave up a young pitching prospect, just 20 years old, named John Smoltz. He turned out to be pretty good for the Braves. Smoltz at that point hadn't really blossomed at all. He was pitching in Lakeland in '86 his first year. He went 7-8. Second year he went 4-10. So he was 11-18 when the Braves identified him as a young prospect they wanted in return for Alexander.
Pitch will miss. As John Smoltz will be handling part of the Yankees-Orioles telecast tomorrow night, 7:30, and Game 3 of that series as they shift to Yankee Stadium. The series now tied at 1. Reddick swings and misses.
Look at all the pitches where he has thrown the pitches away from Reddick. Starts him out with a strike on the corner and then just takes him further and further off the plate outside, and he drops this changeup on him, and Reddick is way out in front.
Outside for ball 3 as they stay away. Again, full count. Reddick had the misfortune of bouncing into a 4-6-3 double play in the first inning. Reddick to right field. Back goes Garcia and over towards the track to make the catch. So Reddick gives it a ride, but he's out number 3. We played 4 from Oakland. He's on top 1-0. Back in Oakland as we head to the top half of the fifth inning, 1-0. The A's on top. And Buck, the field in very good condition considering the Raiders have played 4 games here already, 2 exhibition and 2 regular season games, but the field looks pretty good.
Yeah, it sure does. They've done a terrific job of replacing the sod in center field, and it looks to be as good as you could expect this time of the year.
Johnny Peralta leading it off here for the Tigers. Singled in the second, one of only 2 hits allowed by Brett Anderson. Foul to the screen. 1-2 to Peralta, who singled in the second.
When we talked with Bob Melvin from the dugout, he was very pleased with the way Anderson was elevating his fastball and then finishing off hitters with his breaking ball. And that's the slider he got on top of and just buried it in the dirt. But Melvin, a former catcher himself, really likes Anderson's ability to show hitters strikes in every quadrant of the strike zone. Up, down, in, out. Fastball, breaking ball. He throws a curveball and a very good hard slider. That's his finish pitch.
2-2. A check swing. They will appeal and not going around. Cesare Cooper, full count.
When Anderson came back from his Tommy John surgery, he won his first 4 starts. He allowed just 2 earned runs in 26 innings over that stretch. I mean, he was dealing. He came back and beat the Twins, beat the Indians in Cleveland, beat Boston here in this ballpark, and then beat Seattle. 4-0 in his return to the rotation. He is the first non-rookie to start for the A's since September 7th.
Frame by Norris, but it's ball 4 and Peralta down to first base. Well, 8 ground ball outs so far for Brett Anderson, and it's largely because he's got the ball down so far tonight, Buck.
Well, he certainly has. He strikes out Infante with that good slider down and in, and then another slider gets the ground ball off the bat of Cabrera. Garcia hits the curveball back to the mound, and then Laird strikes out on a curveball, and Delman Young hits into that ground ball to third on another breaking ball down in the zone. He's managed the bottom part of the strike zone very effectively.
And charging from third base was Donaldson, but Andy Dirks showed no signs of bunting there as he takes ball 1, 1-0.
Dirks has a bunt base hit against Brett Anderson. That happened back in Detroit. He bunted it right up the first baseline and got a base hit.
Anderson coming to Oakland as part of the 9-player deal that saw Dan Herron head to Arizona in December of 2007. Well, the Oakland A's and the Arizona Diamondbacks have been trade partners a lot. 2-0 is the strike, 2-1.
And of course, last year they traded Trevor Cahill and Craig Breslow to Arizona. In return, got Jared Parker, who started game 1. Once you have a good trade with the team, you have a tendency to go back and knock on their door again.
2-1 is on the ground, foul.
Especially those trades that work out for both clubs, you have a tendency to trust the GM you're dealing with and say, you know, let's have another conversation. I have a need and you have a surplus in a particular area.
Dirks with a swing and a miss. He strikes out. 4th strikeout for Brett Anderson. 1 down. Now this postseason, for the first time, MLB Network has Division Series game telecast. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, it's Game 3 between the Cardinals and the Nationals. Go to MLBnetwork.com for your provider's channel number. 1 out here in the 5th inning. Johnny Peralta at first base. Avisail Garcia grounded back to the mound in the 2nd inning. He will ground one softly towards short. Drew will go to second for 1, on to first, and it's not in time. Garcia beats it out. They do get Peralta at second for the 2nd out of the inning, but credit Garcia getting down the line.
Garcia can really run, and they do a good job. You can see the quick feed from Drew. Pennington unloads in a hurry. He's got a strong arm, but Garcia beats the return throw. He's been timed at 4-1 to first base, and he utilized all of his speed to keep the inning alive.
Two down. Garcia at first base gives Gerald Laird a chance. Batting out of the number 9 spot. He struck out swinging in the 3rd inning.
Garcia has good speed, but he hasn't really been much of a base stealer since he's been called up to the big league. Just 0 for 2. Plus factor in Brett Anderson's good move. I'm sure he's not going to stray too far.
Laird takes the strike. Just 204 against left-handers during the regular season. He hit 382 against right-handers in the lineup tonight.
Anderson has given Bob Melvin exactly what he wanted. A chance to get 5 innings from him in this start. Remember, he hasn't pitched in 20 days. The last time he started, he left the game in the 3rd inning with an oblique strain.
Bob Melvin was very uncomfortable handing out a number at all as far as pitches thrown, but he very much wanted to get 5 at the very least. Tap back to Anderson. He'll throw to first, and that'll do it. We are halfway through this one with the Oakland A's in Game 3 on top 1-0. Back in Oakland, it's 1-0. The A's on top as we head to the bottom of the 5th. But coming up next on TBS, don't miss Mila Kunis on Conan after MLB postseason on TBS. In baseball terms, I guess you can say Conan is on deck, only on TBS. Very funny. Last half of the 5th inning, Josh Donaldson will lead it off. And a pitch inside for ball 1 from Anibal Sanchez. Donaldson singled to right in the 2nd inning. Not a lot of hits in this game. 2 for the Tigers, 3 for the A's.
Sanchez has really settled in a nice groove here. He's retired 7 in a row, and he has the ability to just really kind of get into this flow now with all of his pitches. Everything is in good shape right now for him. There's a slider that catches the corner.
Well, the Tigers, who trail here 1-0, won 6 consecutive postseason games against the A's, dating back to the 2006 American League Championship Series. It's 1-0 A's right now. Donaldson will lift the fly ball to right. Garcia towards the line, is underneath it and makes the catch.
Obviously, this is a totally different team than that team in 2006. In fact, there are only 11 players from the A's opening day roster that are on this postseason roster. There's been dramatic turnaround. And they have turned it over and really tightened up this team in every aspect.
So far tonight, 4 1/3, the 1 run. The difference in the contest. He's retired 8 in a row. And he deals with a pitch outside, ball 1 to Seth Smith. Flying out to the warning track in left field in the second inning.
Smith hit that ball very hard to left field. It was a breaking ball on the outer half. I expect Sanchez will try to tie him up in this at bat and crowd him with everything, fastball and slider. He might show him a pitch or two away, but I think he wants to get him out inside this time. Smith was all over that pitch in the strike zone away.
2-1 breaking ball, strike over the outside corner.
Dropped the curveball on the outside. Boy, Sanchez is really patient. Never forces himself to the middle of the plate. He just stays on the outer edges.
In the air to center field, off the bat of Seth Smith. Back goes Austin Jackson, and that ball is gone. Solo home run for Seth Smith. The Oakland A's take a 2-0 lead.
He tried to finish him off inside, but didn't get it in. He left the fastball on the inner half. Smith is now 7 for 15 against Sanchez with 2 homers. The target's inside, but look how it works its way over to the inner half. And Smith took care of it. When you hit this well against one pitcher, you've got tremendous confidence that you're always going to have good at-bats against him. Smith hit 14 home runs during the regular season, and this is his second home run against Sanchez this year.
12 of the 14 home runs during the regular season for Smith against right-handed pitching. Notches his first career postseason home run in the postseason with the Rockies in the past. 0-2. Elevates but not chasing is Derek Norris.
Jim Leyland told us, as we mentioned earlier, that he was concerned about Seth Smith. He said the guy has good at-bats against Sanchez, and we've watched video trying to figure out how to attack him. Tonight he's hit the ball hard twice.
Did he go? They'll check no. Chris Jim Leyland winning 851 regular season games as a manager of the Pirates, 607 regular season wins as a manager with the Tigers. Only 3 other men won 600 games as a manager for 2 different teams. Leo DeRocha, Sparky Anderson, and a man who's here tonight, Tony La Russa. 2-2. On the ground to short, Peralta to his left. Little bobble, but he'll get it there in time. The second out of the inning as he gets the A's catcher 2 down.
Johnny Peralta knows how much time he has. He has the catcher running, and even though he bobbled it, you could see he never panicked. Just took his time and makes a strong throw to retire Norris. Peralta doesn't have phenomenal range, but he's got good hands, and he trusts those hands, and he didn't panic and throws out Norris for the second out.
2 down for Cliff Pennington. He struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. 1 of 3 strikeouts tonight for Anibal Sanchez. That'll just miss. That's a strike. And it's 2-1 now to Pennington.
Brandon McCarthy, their ace, that was hit in the head off the bat of Eric Ivor, except for the skull fracture, has been with the ball club the last several weeks, and he's been an emotional boost to his team to have him around. Very fortunate that he came through that injury as well as he did. That brain surgery relieved the pressure, and I spoke to him this afternoon, and he's really happy to be back with his teammates. And this was a big loss. They lost Bartolo Colon. They lost McCarthy.
Hey, you think about that, and then what the rookies did for this Oakland A's team. The end of the year really propelled them into the postseason.
Boy, it sure did. And once again, I think it's the personality of their manager, never panicking when they lost McCarthy. And obviously the team was totally concerned about McCarthy's health first and foremost. But all this adversity has even brought this team closer.
Playoff pitch to Cliff Pennington. And that one fouled off, and the at-bat continues. Anibal Sanchez giving up a one-out home run to Seth Smith. Broke up a string of 8 in a row. Retired by the Tigers right-hander. Now he will walk the number 9 man, Cliff Pennington. His second walk allowed by Sanchez, and the first since the first inning.
We mentioned that Sanchez had walked just 5 batters in his previous 7 starts. He's thrown 22 pitches this inning. He'd like to keep it around 15. But that's when pitchers have a tendency to make mistakes in an inning, when they're up over 20 pitches, a little bit fatigued in the course of that particular inning.
Third time through against Sanchez, one hitting at .337. And here we go. Third time through now is Coco Crisp. It's his third at bat of the night against Sanchez. Singled and is grounded out in the first 2. The first and Pennington back to the bag. Strike as Coco Crisp started this ALDS with a home run in game 1 as he led off the game from America Park in Detroit and put the A's on top, got them off to a fast start, a game they would eventually lose. He robs the Tigers of a home run, and Prince Fielder in this game with his defense.
Yeah, and that was a big lift for him emotionally after that tough game in Detroit, where he dropped the pop-up that led to 2 runs.
One is outside, missing on the breaking ball, and Prince Fielder with a charge into one in the second inning, but robbed by Coco Crisp.
Fielder back on the breaking ball, and Crisp timed it perfectly, went up over the fence. That was the first out of the second inning. Oakland would then get 2 more hits on Brett Anderson, but Anderson kept them off the scoreboard.
Pennington at first base, 13 out of 15 in stolen bases at home this year. Short lead right now as he extends it a tad. Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. So Scott Berry.
Sanchez continues to be unpredictable, and Chris did go. There was a changeup. He tried to check, but Berry at third, the umpire said he went too far. This is a good time to run if you're Donaldson. Crisp is in a hole 1 and 2. You got 2 outs. If you get thrown out, you're in scoring position, and Crisp has been terrific all year long, driving in clutch runs. And if you get thrown out, Scott Crisp leading off the next inning. Good time to gamble.
The check on Pennington, back to the bag. Center fielder Austin Jackson, step or two towards right center for Coco Crisp to pull. As Gerald Laird steers into the dugout of Jim Leland to find out if he's thrown over again.
It's a good shot of Laird offering pitches and Sanchez with a pitch in his mind. He shook quickly to get to the next pitch. Laird never got to the right one. Wants the curveball.
Runners off on the 1-2, and it's a grounder to second base. And Fonte gobbles it up, throws out Coco Crisp. The Oakland A's have added to their lead at the end of 5. Seth Smith with a home run. A's on top, 2-0 in Game 3. We welcome you back to Oakland at O.co Coliseum, the home of the Oakland A's. They're happy to be home after dropping the first 2 games in Detroit. Have a 2-0 advantage as we move on to the 6th inning. And moving on to the 6th after a 17-minute wait is Brett Anderson. That was pitch number 68 of his outing, and Austin Jackson will send one on the ground to Stephen Drew at short. 1 out. Time now to check out our Geico game summary. With 1 out here in the 6th inning, we'll get you caught up on what has taken place so far in this one. Anibal Sanchez 5 innings deep for the Tigers, giving up 2 runs, most recently a home run by Seth Smith. Solo shot in the 5th inning, first career postseason home run, and Brett Anderson is 1 out here in the 6th inning. As the pitch will miss to Omar Infante. Infante struck out in the first, bounced into a 5-4-3 double play in the 3rd inning. 2-0.
Back on the 13th of September, Brett Anderson was hooked up in a great pitcher's duel with Jared Weaver down in Anaheim. They had pitched scoreless into the 7th. Torrey Hunter led off with a home run. Anderson would eventually get knocked around in that ballgame. He left the game trailing 2-0. The Angels would score 6 runs in the 7th, and it was a 6-0 loss for Anderson. But it unraveled in a hurry late in the game. But a great start for he and Jared Weaver in that game back on the 13th of September. He's in the same kind of groove tonight, and the bullpen is standing ready.
Cook and Blevins up in the pen. Right-hander and left-hander. This will bounce in and off the catcher Norris. Full count. 11 ground ball outs for Brett Anderson in this game. 4 strikeouts, 1 flyout. It was a loud flyout. The Prince Fielder flyout in the second, but 11 ground ball outs. Lefty ready again. And a strikeout for Anderson. Omar Infante down by way of the K for the second time tonight. 5 strikeouts for Brett Anderson.
We talked about his put-away slider at the top of the show, and that's exactly what this is. 83 miles an hour, and Infante swings over the top of it for the second time tonight. Infante struck out in his first at-bat on the same pitch.
I gave you the numbers third time through the order for Anibal Sanchez. Only fair to do the same for Brett Anderson. Third time through in 2012, batters hitting at .344 against Anderson, so he's got some tough numbers third time through as well. But so far so good as he gets Jackson a ground out and Infante to strike out.
This is exactly how Anderson wanted to face Cabrera all night long. 2 outs, nobody on. That's the way he got him out in the first, and he got him out as the leadoff batter in the 4th. You have some leeway. Cabrera's hit well against Oakland. In 9 games this season, he's at .429 with 4 doubles and 3 homers, and he's driven in 14 runs.
That's a strike. 2-2. Now Cabrera hitting at .483 against the A's this season. In 7 games at O.co Coliseum. He will strike out this time. Back-to-back Ks for Anderson, 6 in all with 5.5 done. It's 2-0 A's. Back in Oakland here in the last half of the 6th inning, 2-0. The A's have the lead. Single runs in the 1st and 5th. Difference in the contest. And it's Stephen Drew leading it off here for the A's. Anibal Sanchez back to the hill for the 6th inning. Drew has 14 hits in 9 career postseason games. Most of those coming with the Diamondbacks, of course. It appears that Brett Anderson is done after 6 innings and a total of 80 pitches. He gets congratulations from his manager and pitching coach and teammates, as they wanted 5 and instead they got 6 very good shutout innings.
Exactly what they needed, and now they can go to a very strong bullpen.
They have double-barreled action in the pen as the A's bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Smiley and Dotel both warming. Left-hander and right-hander for the Tigers. Sanchez starts the 6th, and Drew pop it up right side of the Tigers infield. Omar Infante will drift to the outfield and make the catch. This conversation went on a little while as if he may stay in this game.
Yeah, Kurt Young, the pitching coach, was called down to Anderson by Bob Melvin. You can see Anderson appears to be pleading to stay in this game. But ultimately, Bob Melvin went back, had a little further conversation with Kurt Young, and then came back to congratulate Anderson for a job well done. He said that he wanted 5 and he got 6.
One down here in the 6th inning. Yoenis Cespedes 1 for 2 as he takes strike 1. Cespedes singled in the 1st, struck out in the 4th. Here is strike 2. Brandon Moss waits on deck. He'll be next. Chopper to 3rd. Cabrera's got it, comes down and fires across for out number 2. Cespedes retired for the 2nd out of the 6th inning, and Brandon Moss coming up.
Well, Sanchez has really pitched well again here tonight. 2 starts ago, he threw a 3-hit shutout against the Royals, and then he pitched the division clinching game at Minnesota. Did not get the decision, but started that game as well. We saw he labored in the 5th and gave up that solo home run to Seth Smith. Threw a lot of pitches last inning.
Moss to right field. Garcia going back to make the catch as he runs onto the track. Just a 9-pitch inning for Anibal Sanchez. We're through 6. It's 2-0 Oakland A's. Buck Martinez, an impressive 6 innings tonight from Brett Anderson.
Well, they needed a big start from their veteran, and he gave them everything they needed. They got staked to an early lead. The breaking ball was good for Anderson all night long. He faced Cabrera 3 times with nobody on and handled him very easily. And Brett Anderson has given Bob Melvin even more than he'd hoped for.
Prince Fielder leads it off here in the 7th inning, and he does against the new pitcher on for the Oakland A's. Ryan Cook into the contest here for the A's. Blown save in game 2 of the ALDS, going an inning, giving up 2 hits and a run. 71 regular season appearances. It's a strike to Fielder. He has served as the A's closer from mid-June until early August. Registered 12 saves, but also blew 7 save opportunities. One of the few guys the A's tried before Grant Balfour took over again. Out to left center and diving and left is Cespedes. He's up with it. Another terrific catch by an Oakland A's outfielder tonight. Coco Chris Burley, Yoenis Cespedes late.
Well, we mentioned it at the start of this series. With these 2 outfields, we were going to see some spectacular plays, and tonight the Oakland A's have made 2. This is a big play by Cespedes, who has been a center fielder in the past. He takes away possibly extra bases from Prince Fielder, and the first out of the inning is a huge out for Oakland.
Both times the victim is Prince Fielder. First on the Chris play, and most recently by Cespedes.
See Coco Chris backing up Cespedes just in case, but Yoenis left his feet, and that's a big boost for a pitcher. We saw the same reaction from Brett Anderson when Coco Chris robbed Fielder in the 2nd.
Elman Young takes ball 2, 2-0. Prince Fielder's been on the wrong end of some impressive defense by the A's outfielders tonight.
He's had a couple hang with him tonight.
The arm looks at strike 1, 97 from Cook. He's got that kind of velocity, and it's 2-1. 22 of his last 23 appearances scoreless. And from August on in the regular season, a 0.72 earned run average. Late swing on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball evens the count at 2-2.
Yeah, this is Cook's first full season in the big leagues, and he got a taste of closing. But it's not unusual for a younger reliever to take a step back before he moves into that closer's role permanently.
Strike 3. Ball gets away briefly from Norris, clears the runner and fires to first for the out. First strikeout for Cook, and there's 2 down in the inning. Get your team's news first. Get the Team Stream app from Bleacher Report. You'll never miss another big moment with your team. Download Team Stream on your App Store or Google Play. 2 outs here in the top half of the 7th inning. Johnny Peralta, the batter. 73 and a third innings during the regular season. Cook had 80 strikeouts. 2 strikeouts in game 2. Got ball 1 to Johnny Peralta.
We mentioned the Tigers struggling on the road during the regular season. 38 and 43. They scored 60 fewer runs on the road than they did at home, and they're being shut out tonight.
Broken bat, grounder up the middle that'll be knocked down, or a piece of it anyway, by Pennington. Gets to center, and Chris will grab it on the broken bat. Base hit with the barrel of the bat at shortstop. Peralta's at first, and he's on for the 3rd time tonight.
Cook's got a big arm, and he really gets in the kitchen of Johnny Peralta. You can see him fighting it off. That's down around the label, and the bat explodes in his hand. And the barrel goes all the way out to shortstop. The ball sneaks past the 2 middle infielders, but watch where this hits on the bat. Right down around the label and just shatters that bat in Peralta's hand.
2-out base runner for the Tigers here in the 7th. Andy Dirks, the batter. Strike 1. Dirks 0 for 2. Grounded into a fielder's choice in the 2nd. He struck out swinging in the 5th. Jerry Blevins. down and in.
The A's can go lefty-righty the rest of the night until they get to Balfour. Blevins has had a terrific season. If Dirks gets on and keeps the inning alive, we might see a pinch hitter for Detroit.
4 lefties in the bullpen down there for Bob Melvin.
Quentin Berry's got a bat and a helmet. More than likely he will pinch hit for Avisail Garcia if Dirks can keep the inning alive.
Dirks will lift a fly ball, playable to left field for Cespedes. He'll put it away. 7th inning stretch from Oakland. The A's have a 2-0 lead. It is 2-0. The A's have the lead. Don Orsillo and Buck Martinez, along with Jamie Maggio, back here at O.co Coliseum in Oakland. And tonight, the Oakland A's have the chance to return home, and they were hoping returning home would be big for the A's, and so far it has been tonight. And Buck, you look back at the Oakland A's in the first 2 games in Detroit. Their defense was not very good. Tonight, their defense has been excellent.
It sure has. You go back and look at game 1. The speed of Quentin Berry forces Jared Parker into an error. That led to a Tiger run in game 1. And then maybe the biggest play so far in this game was in game 2 with the A's leading. Miguel Cabrera pops one into center. Coco Crisp, normally a sure-handed center fielder, drops it for a 2-run error, and that would prove costly. But it's a totally different story tonight. In the 2nd inning, Prince Fielder hits one that's headed over the fence, and Coco Crisp times it perfectly to pull it back in. And then Neonis Cespedes, once again Fielder making a bid for an extra base hit, robbed by the left fielder. So the A's have tightened up their defense dramatically, and you have to believe that getting 2 games under their belt has taken the jitters off a little bit.
You know, Tigers in the American League Division Series, just 1 hit with runners in scoring position, 3 errors, 1 wild pitch, and 2 groundouts have led to runs, but they have not been able to get it done that way. And we talked to Jim Leland before the game, and he was very aware of that particular statistic, and he said that has to change if they're going to close out this series here in Oakland, as Anibal Sanchez returns to the mound, 92 pitches deep in his outing for the bottom of the 7th inning. And Josh Reddick, Josh Donaldson, and Seth Smith are expected here, the trio for the Athletics, in the bottom of the 7th inning. Sanchez has been very good tonight. There's no run support in this game for him. He's retired the last 4 A's in a row. He's got Reddick twice tonight. Reddick bouncing into a 4-6-3 double play and flying out to the warning track in right. Reddick lines it to short. It's picked by Peralta, below the cap high.
Reddick's hit the ball hard his last 2 times up, and the timing's starting to come around for Josh Reddick. He had a home run in game 2, and right here he's all over this, but the defense positioned perfectly as Peralta takes the line drive.
1 out in the 7th as Reddick makes his way back to the dugout. Here's Josh Donaldson. 1 for 2, a single in the 2nd. He flied out to right in the 5th. Here's strike 1.
Sanchez has just been terrific. A run in the 1st, and then a solo home run with 1 out in the 5th to Seth Smith. That's it. But unfortunately, the Tigers haven't been able to score.
Josh Donaldson, who had 3 different stints with the A's this season, started the season with Oakland, was hitting at .094 after 9 games and was demoted. His 3rd stint of the year went much better, hitting at .290 in his final 47 games.
.094 will get you demoted.
That will send you to Sacramento in a hurry.
He actually caught 3 games for Oakland, and he came back the last time and really took over. He has made great progress at 3rd base.
He was a 1st-round pick by the Cubs in '07, came to Oakland in '08. Part of the package that saw Rich Harden go to Chicago. As the pitch will miss. 95 from Sanchez, still throwing hard.
The Tigers, until the final 2 weeks of the season, had just 1 game that they won when they scored 2 runs or fewer. Since Sanchez has come, they've won 2 games scoring 2 runs or less, and Sanchez started both of those games.
So run support a real issue. Talked about Detroit on the road, and this Oakland A's team at home with 50 wins during the regular season at home, as the A's were 50-31 at O.co Coliseum. An even 100 pitches for Anibal Sanchez.
This might be his last batter.
Time called. Sanchez holds up a late time call from Dana Demuth.
They're arguing that Sanchez was already into his delivery before time had been granted. 100 pitches. Seth Smith is on deck, a left-handed batter that took Sanchez deep his last at bat, and they have Drew Smiley ready.
In the air to right center field. Austin Jackson is going to play it on a hop. Josh Donaldson with a 1-out base hit, his 2nd hit of the night.
Jackson initially thought about diving for this ball and then made a wise decision as he concedes that it's going to be a base hit, but plays it on a hop. Blocks it with his body. He's able to keep it from getting past him, but he thought about diving for it and wisely chose to keep it to a single.
Jim Leland to the mound. The pitching change from Oakland with the A's on top 2-0 with 1 out in the 7th. and by Motorola. Octavio Dotel coming in 57 games during the regular season. Dotel, amazing. Detroit is his 13th team in his 14-year big league career.
Well, he's got a lot of postseason experience as well. Last year, he made 12 appearances in the postseason with the St. Louis Cardinals. He was part of the 2005 Oakland A's. He came here in a trade from Houston, spent time with the Yankees, Kansas City, Atlanta, Chicago, you name it. He's got a jersey in his house with a team in the big leagues. 13 teams, as you mentioned.
He's not spent more than one season with any team since spending 08 and 09 with the White Sox, as Anibal Sanchez was terrific tonight. 6 1/3 and responsible for Donaldson at first base. There is Seth Smith, but first a very soft toss to first base.
Interesting that Jim Leland would go to Dotel and not Drew Smiley in relief of Sanchez. But Dotel is the veteran with lots of experience. And even though left-handers have hit .288 against him, he trusts Dotel in this situation more than he feels comfortable going to the rookie. Smith is 1 for 3 against the Tigers right-hander. And he's swinging a hot bat right now.
Strike one.
Dotel at one time threw 97. He doesn't have that same velocity, but he certainly has the experience and the patience. He knows now that he's not going to overpower you, but he's going to make quality pitches with his fastball and his slider.
Steps off, and Donaldson darts back to the bag. 5th trip to the postseason for Dotel. 5th different team that he's gone to the postseason with. Remember the World Series champion Cardinals last year. Appeared 12 games for the Cardinals in last year's postseason. 0-1 is in tight. Time in his career he's been to the playoffs in consecutive seasons. One to Seth Smith. That'll miss, framed by Laird, but it's ball 2.
Jim Leland has the ultimate respect for the Oakland Athletics. And he knows if they get this game, get back into the series, it's a brand new ball game. They're playing at home where they have gone 16-5 in their last 21 games.
Now, the Tigers would very much like to end it right here tonight. And so far they have been stymied by the Oakland A's pitching. Namely, Brett Anderson for 6 shutout innings. Ryan Cook pitched the 7th. The A's are trying to add on to a 2-0 advantage right now. Donaldson at first. Here's a 2-1. Donaldson takes off, and it's a pop-up. Foul ground. Cabrera going over. He's got to play, and he makes it. And back to the bag at first goes Donaldson. We talked about this vast foul ground here in Oakland, and there's a look that a lot of other ballparks, that ball would be in the seats. Well, this postseason, for the first time, MLB Network has Division Series game telecast. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, it's Game 3 between the Cardinals and Nationals. Go to MLBnetwork.com for your provider's channel number. 2 outs in the 7th. Donaldson back to first, and Derek Norris, the Oakland A's catcher, in his 3rd plate appearance of the game. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd, was caught trying to steal, and then bounced out to short in the 5th. Strike one.
This is where Dotel's really dominant. He's held right-handed hitters to a 197 average this season. He can paint that outside corner. That glove side fastball and slider, really his bread and butter. he will extend that breaking ball further and further off the plate away.
Swing and a miss, going away again. And if Jim Leyland chooses to bring him back another inning, it's something that he has done this year. 14 appearances, longer than 1 inning this season. 4 lasting 2 innings. His highest pitch total this year, 36. 4 times he threw 30 or more. He has the second out here, the 7th. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strikes him out and ends the 7th. We are through 7 in Game 3 of the ALDS, with the A's on top 2-0. Have the lead this January on TBS. If you're looking for a great comedy with beautiful cast and a really crappy title, then Cougar Town is the comedy with the crappy title you're looking for. Cougar Town, a brand new season on a brand new network, begins this January only on TBS. It is 2-0. A's on top. Sean Doolittle, former outfielder, first baseman, now pitching as a left-hander deals. Appeared in only 29 games from 2009 through 2011 due to a knee injury, but former outfielder, first baseman, started his career as a position player and a first-round pick by the A's in 2007. Guy who had 22 home runs at one point as a position player, but now an effective lefty coming out of the pen.
Most of the time when you see a position player converted to a pitcher, it's because he couldn't hit. That's not the story with Doolittle. He could really hit. He had a knee injury that had kept him from continuing as a position player.
Garcia down 0-2. He will flare one foul, stays alive. 96 on the fastball from Sean Doolittle. Made his major league debut as a pitcher June 5th against Texas. Struck out 3 of the first 4 batters in the majors that he faced. Jumped onto the scene in a hurry and with authority announced his presence. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strikes out Garcia. One down in the 8th. Let's send it to Atlanta and Matt Weiner for an update. Matt. All right, Matt, thanks very much. Back here at O.co Coliseum in Oakland. One out in the 8th. Gerald Laird, the batter, and he takes strike one. Laird 0 for 2 from the number 9 spot in the order. Strikeout and a ground out, and 0 for 4 in the ALDS. Down the right field line and foul.
Now, this is a great pitching staff here in Oakland. They might not have an awful lot of experience, but they can pitch. And Doolittle has an overpowering arm. He also throws a breaking ball and a changeup, but he hasn't had to use it very often.
Bob Melvin said with this season the way that it went, these rookies are no longer rookies. As you see Grant Balfour, the closer, headed down to the pen. Striking out is Laird. Back-to-back strikeouts for Sean Doolittle. 2 down in the 8th.
Just high gas. He reached back for a little extra on the fastball and ties up Gerald Laird. Norris wants it down. It didn't matter. It was a good live fastball upstairs, and Laird can't catch up.
7 pitches, all strikes for Doolittle since being summoned from the pen. 2 down in the 8th for Austin Jackson. Jackson will take strike one.
This A's team might lose this series, but it won't be because they're intimidated. And they've got the confidence in the back end of their bullpen.
Austin Jackson has struck out, walked, and grounded out. Ryan Cook went an inning, giving it a hit, no runs, no walks. Had a strikeout. 9 strikeouts in the contest for Oakland pitching in this game. Fouled off. Defensive swing, a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. This crowd's been standing for a lot of this last couple of innings here for the A's. Two and 2.
Doolittle grew up in New Jersey, went to the University of Virginia, and when he left, he had most of the offensive records, home runs, RBIs. He also had 21 wins off the mound.
He just pitched in 17 minor league games before he made his major league debut. How about striking out the side in the 8th? Doolittle fired up. So are the A's. They lead it 2-0. got you for the first game tomorrow. Game 3, Cardinals and Nationals. Back on TBS, Giants and Reds at 4 p.m. with Game 4. The Orioles and Yankees shift to Yankee Stadium. Game 3 starts at 7:30 on TBS. And if necessary, the Oakland A's can hold on here tonight. It'll be Tigers and A's back here at O.Co Coliseum at 9:30 for Game 4. TBS coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern. Cliff Pennington leading it off as the Detroit Tigers move on to their third arm of the night. First pitch to Pennington is strike one from Phil Koch. Look at the numbers for Koch, who worked in Game 2 of the series. Big problems against Oakland this season, an ERA of 18.00. 8 hits, 6 runs in 3 innings against the A's. Here's a pop-up. Back is second, shallow center. Peralta will make the catch. A little collision as Jackson was trying to call him off, but it's the Tigers shortstop who secures out number 1.
You can see Jackson telling Peralta, I had it, but there's so much noise in this ballpark. Peralta never heard him. This is the center fielder's play. He's got priority on this pop-up, and he will call off Peralta. You can see Jackson calling for it, but Peralta never budged. He obviously didn't hear Jackson calling for the ball from center.
I'm amazed Peralta was able to keep that ball in his glove. It's out number 1 of the 8th, and here's Coco Crisp. Oakland would love to obtain some insurance here as they bat in the last of the 8th. Out to left center field. Dirks calling and catching out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for Phil Koch. Grant Balfour getting ready in the pen, the closer for the A's. And he's got to go through the teeth of the Detroit Tigers lineup. In the 9th inning, Omar Infante, Miguel Cabrera, Prince Fielder. So it is not an easy 9th by any stretch of the imagination.
They're never easy for the closer.
2 down in the 8th. Drew takes a look at ball 1. Some are easier than others.
Well, when you're in a position where you could lose and go home, it gets as tough as it can possibly be. The A's are 2-10 when facing elimination in the postseason.
This one fouled to the screen. In fact, the Athletics have lost their last 5 postseason games and they faced elimination. That's one shy of the longest current losing streak of its kind in the major leagues. The Twins have lost their last 6 postseason games when facing elimination, and the Indians also have lost their last 5. That is outside. 2-1.
Obviously, 2 runs can evaporate in a heartbeat with the middle of the Tigers' order.
Drew takes ball 3.
The concerns Jim Leland had about his offense played out here tonight. No runs on 3 hits. Cabrera is 0 for 3. Fielder is 0 for 3. Delman Young is 1 for 3. Middle of the order just 1 for 9.
Drew will take a 2-out walk. 3rd walk allowed tonight by Tigers pitching. 2-out base runner for the A's, and it gives Cespedes a chance. Jim Leland coming out. Cespedes introduced, and Leland will make the change. So Cook got 2 quick outs, but he walked Stephen Drew, and he'll leave the game. It's 2-0 A's. The pitching change from O.Co Coliseum.
Of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
We are in the midst of the bottom of the 8th inning. A starter by trade, Rick Porcello, has never made a regular season relief appearance, but has made 2 in the playoffs, both coming in last season's American League Championship Series. Here he is in the postseason again in Jim Leyland's pen. And he comes on to face Yoenis Cespedes with Drew at first, and Cespedes, little bloop, and will send Infante to short right to make the catch that ends the inning. So Porcello out of it on 1 pitch. Balfour will be in when we come back. It's 2-0 A's.
2-0 lead over the Tigers. Grant Balfour in to close it out in relief here. If you've ever watched him come in as a reliever, he kind of gets hyped up. He starts yelling and screaming, and I asked him, what is that all about? He said, well, that started back in 2008. I had a good spring with the Tampa Bay Rays, but I didn't make the team. I was designated for assignment, and I was really upset about it. He said, since then, he talks himself up when he enters the game as part of his new psyche. I asked, what do you say to yourself? He goes, well, there's a lot of bleeps in there, but basically, I'm telling myself, stay positive, be confident, you got this. Don, Buck, you guys got this.
He is constantly in the midst of a meeting with himself, yelling all the time, and it is just part of what motivates him and what has made him so good. And regained this closer's role, one that he had at the beginning of the year and lost in the middle. Got it back in the end.
He is the reliever of the same style as Mark Fidrich was as a starter. Very animated, very emotional on the mound, and he is going to really use a lot of adrenaline in this inning.
Omar Infante gets it started, and he looks at strike one. Prior to the season, Balfour had 10 career saves. Never had more than 4 in a season. Held opponents to a 160 average.
Balfour took the loss in game 2, and he's got his work cut out for him to save this ball game.
Twice all season he allowed runs in consecutive outings. Fonte has done well against Balfour. He's 3 for 4 against him in his career, and fouls it off.
Infante had big hits in game 2 with 2 outs to get Cabrera to the plate. If he gets on here, Cabrera will come to the plate representing the tying run.
Cabrera, then fielder, expected at the ninth. Ball 2. Balfour, the A's are his 4th major league team. Started his career with the Twins, or joining the Brewers, spent parts of 4 seasons in Tampa Bay prior to joining the A's before the 2011 campaign.
Cook, Doolittle, and Balfour have been locked down back into the bullpen for Oakland.
Strike 3. 1 down in the ninth. 4 straight strikeouts for Oakland A's pitching.
You can see Balfour hollering to himself, let's go, after he punches out Infante with a great fastball.
It's 11 strikeouts for Oakland A's pitching in the game.
And Oakland has done exactly what they wanted tonight. They have faced Miguel Cabrera now 4 times with nobody on.
He is 0 for 3 in the contest. He's grounded out twice and struck out swinging. That'll bounce in. Balfour's now pitched in 7 of the A's last 8 games. Cabrera 1 for 7 in his career against Balfour. 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. Cabrera lines it into right field. A 1-out single from Miguel Cabrera, and the tying run will come to the plate in Prince Fielder.
Anytime you have these two back-to-back, you're in a ball game. Cabrera gets his first hit of the night, a fastball, and he just needs to get on base. He's great to the opposite field, took that fastball and shot it through the hole on the right side to set the table for Prince Fielder. Remember, Fielder hit a home run in the second, but Coco Crisp caught it over the fence in center field.
And robbed of a base hit by Cespedes in left. Should likely be a 2-hit night for Fielder. Instead, he is 1 for 11 in the ALDS. He's faced Balfour once in his career and walked as he takes strike one. The outfield is as deep as you possibly can be. And they play for Fielder to pull and Coco Crisp in center. But they are very deep, almost to the track all the way around.
You can't afford to let Fielder get to second on a base hit. Gonna have a little chat after that one. Norris got crossed up. He looked like he was expecting a breaking ball. He was fortunate that he was able to catch it. Watch the reaction of the catcher. He anticipates this ball breaking. He leans to the right, and fortunately, he got a glove up in time. That surprised him. And when you call for a breaking ball, get that fastball at 95, it seems like it's 115.
One to Fielder. That's in there for strike two. Fielder hitting into 19 double plays during the regular season, fourth most on the Tigers. Fielder hits one up the middle. Drew at second. Will tag second. Fires to first. Game over. The Oakland A's live to see another day as they are able to beat the Tigers in Game 3 of the series. Just mentioned the double plays, and there's a double play to end the ball game.
Well, it's a brand new ball game now for Oakland. They came home and did what they had to do. They love playing in this ballpark. They have now won 6 in a row in this ballpark, and what a start by Brett Anderson. His first start in 20 days, he shut down the potent Tigers very effectively on just 2 hits. He had command of his pitches all night long, and then Bob Melvin got to what he wanted from. He got the bullpen. Cook, Doolittle, and Balfour combined to strike out 5 Tigers, and they really did a great job of closing out the end of the ball game.
Well, tonight's Chevy player of the game is the starter tonight for the Oakland A's. Todd Melvin wanted 5. He got 6 out of Brett Anderson, who was outstanding as he stymied the Detroit Tigers in his effort.
Well, he sure did, and it started early. He had that good slider working early, and that's his wipeout pitch. He goes 6 innings, just 2 hits, would end up with those 6 strikeouts. And Brett Anderson, a lot unknown, but he was great tonight.
Jamie Maggio standing by with Brett Anderson.
All right, thank you, Don. Brett, heck of a game for you tonight. It's your first postseason appearance of your career. It's your first appearance since September 19th after the oblique injury. First of all, what were your expectations for yourself out there tonight?
Just go out there and try to give us a chance to win. You know, our first 2 starters, Parker Malone went out there and gave us a chance to win, and I was going to go out there and try to do my part, and, fortunately it worked out.
You had Tommy John surgery. You came back in August. You looked fantastic then. Do you feel like you picked up where you left off?
Yeah, I had Tommy John and pitched, like I said, pitched fairly good coming off of that, and then I have the crazy oblique injury, and you couldn't really script it, but it worked out.
Talk about some of the defensive plays that we saw from your teammates tonight. Yoenis Cespedes, Coco Crisp.
Oh, it was unbelievable. Coco robbing the homer kind of set the tone, and we scored a run early and kind of eased me into the game a little bit, and you can't say enough about the defense. We got some timely hitting there at the homer. I mean, it's fun. We're here in Oakland. It's an unbelievable crowd, unbelievable atmosphere, and hopefully you can pull out these next 2.
Congratulations, bro.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Don, back to you.
All right, Jamie, thank you very much. The A's first postseason shutout since they beat the Yankees in the ALDS Game 2 of 2001. So it has been a long time, but the totals from tonight, Brett Anderson, and Jamie just talked to, he goes 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs. He walks 2 and strikes out 6. Balfour comes in and gets the save and had to go through the toughest part of the Tigers' order to get it done. And how about the bullpen work tonight from the A's? Other side for the Tigers, Anibal Sanchez pitched great tonight, Buck, but no offensive support from the Tigers as they are stymied 2-0.
Well, Jim Leyland was concerned about his offense. He said, we got to get this offense going. Remember, coming into this game, they'd scored 8 runs, but only 1 run with a base hit. And they were stymied totally by this pitching staff tonight. The bullpen really slammed the door, and I think they've set the tone for the rest of this series.
So our final score, the Oakland A's have a 2-0 win tonight against the Tigers. For Buck Martinez, Jamie Maggio, and the rest of our crew, I'm Don Orsillo saying goodnight from Oakland. Stay tuned for Inside MLB, presented by Captain Morgan. Remember to drink responsibly. After a quick break, we'll send you to Matt Weiner in Atlanta. TBS is your home for the MLB Division Series, an exclusive home of the American League Championship Series. The Oakland A's live another day. The series now 2-1. Tigers have the lead in the ALDS. Good night from Oakland.